Hello, and welcome to this video. In this video, you already know what we're doing. We are continuing our playthrough of Our Life, and it's gonna be a blast because we are starting at step 2, and the moment selection is right here. And today I will be playing Wave and Mall because those are just the ones that I feel like choosing. So yeah, let's start with Wave. If I can actually click it, there we go. The family shopping trip had lasted most of the morning, and you still had to unload everything from the truck before you could go enjoy the afternoon. You cradled another bag in your arms as you headed towards your house. It was one of the heavier bags from the grocery store, loaded with fresh apples, ripe tomatoes, a bunch of carrots, and even half a watermelon. Yummy stuff. Ma came out the front door and paused just ahead of you. Need any help with that, Rebecca? I can bring it the rest of the way if you want me to. A little scratchy scratch on the nose. Yes, please, it would be helpful. Yes, please, it was just too heavy. No, I've got it. You were doing fine. No, I've got it. You could just manage to hold it. You eagerly agreed with a nod of your head. You needed someone else to take it. You didn't say anything. You could finish the job yourself, no problem. Honestly, Mom, help. Ma stepped forward to take the bag from your arms, and you made a quick run to get another bag. You passed Ma again on your way back to the house, and she gave you an encouraging grin and rustled her fingers through your purple hair. Yeah, I don't have purple hair right now, but I wish I did. Maybe I should dye my hair for next time. We'll see what happens. You set the next bag on the counter. Your older sister began to root around inside for the contents with a sigh. How much is left? Still a few more bags. With a huff and a puff, Elizabeth continued putting away the groceries, and you retreated out of the kitchen before you could become the target of her bad mood. Careful, Rebecca! You hadn't been looking where you were going and bumped right into Mom. Whoops. Almost stepping on her toes to boot. Sorry. I can give you a pass this time, but be sure to watch where you're going. If you run into the wrong people, you might get your license revoked. She grinned at the bad joke as you continued through the door. Outside, Ma had started organizing what remained and putting back any loose objects that had fallen out during the trip. When you stepped up to the truck beside her, she took in a big breath of air, her dress gently swaying around in the breeze. Ah, so lovely. It's a shame we had to spend the morning cooped up in that shopping center. It's a beautiful day, don't you think? You tilted your head to the sky, gazing at the clear blue expanse. Yeah, it is. Days like today are my favorite. It's too hot. I wish it was raining. I like it when it's stormy the best, so days like this are my favorite. Today it is so gloomy and rainy and it's not nice, but days like the summer days are my favorite. Ma smiled at you, her amber eyes glinting with affection. You and your sister are a lot alike in that way, and me too. You gave her a familiar look, but eventually you turned back to help her with the last of the bags. Everyday shenanigans, huh? Oh, hi, Cove! You noticed Mom waved over at Cove, who had just exited his front door, his surfboard propped up under one arm. Let me see, surfboard and wetsuit, where might you be off to this beautiful day? Oh, and he's nervous! Cove instantly startled, not having realized your family was also out there. Even though your mom was the one who called out, you were the one he looked at. He tried to settle down again. He jogged across the pavement to probably say hello to you and your parents. It was decidedly awkward, since Cove had trouble figuring out how close to stand to you. The addition of his unwieldy surfboard made the whole thing seem even clumsier. Careful with that thing, you'll put someone's eye out. Mom chuckled and got a whispered reproach from Ma for it. Pam, please, go easy on him. Cove winced, aka he cringed. Sorry, Mrs. Love. Don't mind her, honey. It's a beautiful day for surfing. I haven't been out in the waves for such a long time. I'm jealous. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a few good waves before it gets dark. Hi, Cove. Kind of random when your moms were just speaking to him, but I guess it makes sense. We didn't exactly say hi before. He had relaxed a lot when Ma spoke to him, but the rigidity came back as soon as she said something. "Hi, Rebecca." Cove managed to grin, and it almost felt like you had butterflies in your stomach. "Do you want to come hang out there later?" You noticed the flush of red in his cheeks, but that might have just been from the heat. "Sure, I'll meet you there when you're done." "Oh yeah, I could do that." "Alright. I can't this time. Sure, I'll meet you there when I'm done." "Cool." When he spoke again, he tried to continue some of the excitement that was clearly ready to burst. "It'll be fun." You're not done unloading, right? Can I help?" No. This is our job. You go enjoy the beach. Rebecca can catch up as soon as she's finished here." "Alright, I'll see you." "Yeah, bye for now." Cove headed on down to the beach with more skip in his step than normal. It was really cute. You smiled softly to yourself at the thought that you would be joining him soon. He sure seemed to perk up after you agreed to meet him there. I wonder why that could be. Ma! Now who's giving him a hard time, Lonnie? Shush, it's different. Ma's face broke into an incredulous. Mom's face broke into an incredulous grin. In what way? I'm being supportive, and he can hear it. Mom full-on laughed that time. You're the worst of us when it comes to this, honestly. I keep trying to warn people, but they won't listen. I only wanted to help. I think it's fair to say that he might need it. Needler, but you have a point. Right? You narrowed your eyes at their teasing, and they simply chuckled conspiratorially. Man, before taking more bags from the trunk and heading inside. Once everything had finally been taken in and put away, you got yourself ready to meet Cove at the beach. You had a surfboard in your room that you wanted to take with you. Your family had a surfboard around here somewhere. You weren't sure what you were going to do. He was surfing and you didn't know how. Honestly, I've never gotten surfing before. Sadly. I would actually like to, although it seems a little terrifying, but let's just say that our family had a surfboard, because they probably do, considering we literally live on the beach almost, yeah? I think so. Can I take your board to the beach? Sure, it's in the garage. Just remember to keep the leash on when you're in the water. After finding the board in the back of the garage and getting everything ready, you headed down to the beach. Have fun, honey. Stay safe. When you arrived at the shore, you were greeted by the crash of waves and the soft calls of seagulls. Is that a soft call? Because seagulls are not soft, usually, in their speech, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, you took in a lungful of the ocean air and felt your peachy skin warm in the sun. You noticed a small setup nearby with a towel, some sunscreen, and a bottle of water. It must be Cove's. You spotted Cove himself nearby. He hadn't gone out to sea yet. He was just sitting in the sand at the water's edge, his board propped up beside him. You strolled up beside him. Hi, I'm here. Rebecca. Oh my god, did you hear he say it? Oh my god, he said it. He looked up at you with a smile and quickly hopped to his feet. I was wondering if you were still coming. I wouldn't have missed it. Sorry you had to wait. And stay inside all day? I don't think so. You were able to make him laugh with that. Then he cast his eyes out towards the waves. Cove, I'm not that good at surfing. I borrowed this board, but I don't know how to surf. I'm ready to get in there. Will you give me some tips? No, I literally don't know how to surf. You dragged a toe through the sand. You may have had a board to borrow, but you were totally inexperienced actually using it. I guess that makes sense. I've never seen you with one before. He laughed a bit, and you felt no less embarrassed. We don't have to go out, you know. We could stay on shore. Or, if you want, I could teach you. I owe you that much, right? I was the one who always promised to show you about surfing. True. He's offered that option to you for pretty much as long as you've known him. You were touched that he remembered. You would rather just watch Cove surf. You accepted the offer to hang out on the beach. You wanted to try surfing. I mean, we brought the board and everything, so let's give it a shot. I'll do it. Let's surf. Cool. You held your mom's board tight. It was settled. You paddled out into the sea to where the good waves were. The water was cool against your skin. Oh, a picture. Oh, man. Not too calm, but nothing crazy. It looks perfect today. He smiled at you and you couldn't help but smile back. You felt totally content. Until Cove kicked the water a little too hard and it inadvertently splashed you. Hey! Sorry! The apology did not come across as especially repentant, as he was practically laughing when he said it. You splashed him back, you let it go. No, we splashed him back! We get him! You laughed but waited for an opening for revenge. The second he looked away, you kicked back, spraying him. Is that any way to treat someone trying to help? I came out here to teach you. And I was just following your example. Take that! Cove Holden! Cove tried to keep a straight face, but ended up looking away. The water you flicked on him landed in shiny droplets in his hair. Then here's another lesson. He soaked you deliberately this time. He used his full leg and an impressive curtain of water to hit you in the face. I hate that! You lost your balance and scrambled to keep hold of the board. You just managed to stay on it, but it was close. Cove winced. Are you okay? That wasn't what I was trying to do. I'm fine, but we should do the real teaching. Yeah. He chuckled awkwardly and shook some water out of his ear. With that, Cove started telling you all the tips and tricks of how to stay on a surfboard. He demonstrated both good and bad posture and explained where you needed to put your weight. I didn't know that. Okay, of course that's important. I was gonna say I didn't know that was important, but that's because I don't know anything about surfing, so obviously I don't know that. Anyway, like this. You wiggled your body so that you were more in the center of your board. Cove nodded. Yup, just like that. The little lesson continued and things clicked with you quickly. It had to go slowly, but you got it. You kind of struggled. It was disastrous. I would probably have to go slowly, but maybe I would get it. I'm putting a lot of faith in myself here. Cove did his best to guide you through the process, and by the end you felt you had picked up the basics of serving. Baldy's basics. Coming soon. Anyway. Occasionally, he reached out and touched you to more directly help get positions right. It felt nice. But if you acknowledged you noticed his touch at all, he would instantly pull away. Since you'd spent so much time working on balance in stable water, you wondered when you'd actually get to catch some waves. You brought it up to Cove and he nodded. If you think you're ready, go for it. You'll be doing great. Alright. With that, you graduated from Cove's class and the two of you were able to surf together more casually, even if he was still better at it. What an afternoon. The setting sun was visible in the horizon. Every time you would look away, it had sunk a little lower. This is so gorgeous. The beach was darkening, but still pleasantly warm. You knew you should get out of the water before it was completely dark in the sea. You rode one last wave to get back to the beach. There, you picked up your surfboard and gave it a quick once-over. Yeah, we don't want the shallows up in this. Not at all. Cove followed behind you to the shore. He put his board up. He put his board with his other things and grabbed his towel to start drying off. As he ruffled his hair with the towel, you watched the sunset together. The colors were beautiful in the distance, and the shadows around you deepened. There's no need for words between you two, as you just enjoyed the sight for a moment. Cove broke the silence. There's waves for good today, I think. Yeah, totally. I guess. Perfect for surfing. Do you really think so? Perfect for surfing, I guess. He nodded mildly. You chatted a little more until the conversation truly died out, and all you heard was the rhythmic sound of waves. Then Cove sighed. The day can't be over. Not yet. He scowled into the distance as the sun exiting the sky was a personal offense. I know the feeling. Yeah, and you know what's also a personal offense? My camera hating me. I have no idea why it hates me so much. Oh my. Don't you think it should be longer? Yeah, it felt long enough to me. Only a shrug could express your feelings on that matter. No, yeah, I always feel like that. Cove stood up straight in defiance of the approaching darkness. I'm not gonna go home yet. I want to go somewhere. I don't know. Cove was still dripping in salt water, so you weren't sure what the alternative was. Wetsuits were fine for the beach, and not much else. Agreed. It wasn't a good idea for him to lug his surfboard around town either. You'll be real cute in that wetsuit wherever you go. Well, I need to call it a night. Yeah, I want to do something too. We'll be sure to welcome. We'll sure be welcome anywhere soaking wet like this. That's kind of funny. Cove finally took the note of his current state and laughed. He shrugged. Then he looked down at the shore with wide, shining eyes. There's at least one place that's always okay to hang out in, no matter what it is, the park. You nodded. The park was virtually always empty. Even Elizabeth only went over there nowadays if she was looking for you. How times have changed. She used to be so protective of the place. In fact, the only person that there was a chance of running into might be that Jeremy kid again. You brought the idea up to Cove and he cringed, but I'm still going. The sun is still there a little. I'm staying out as long as it is. You tagged along. You went home. Oh, we're going with him. Okay, let's go. Cove took a minute to put his stuff in order. He made sure to get it all, though didn't take much care to shake the sand off. You dealt with your own things. You stuffed everything quickly together. You took time to pack your bag. We did it quickly. Gotta go. I'm done, Cove. He rolled his eyes with a bent smile at the announcement. Why? Why? As a final touch, Cove plucked his glasses off the beach and put them back on his face. He looked more like himself now. He led the way down the beach to the park. It wasn't far, so it didn't take you long at all. The sun still hadn't completely disappeared just yet when you made your arrival. Cove stuck his surfboard upright in the sand and tossed his towel over top. By now, the two of you were mostly dry. The summer breeze on your skin kept you pleasantly warm. Oh, I wish. Cove idly went over to the monkey bars. He grabbed them, feet flat on the ground, and pretended to go across. He had definitely grown in the past few years. You were still short enough to use the monkey bars yourself. Sometimes being tiny has its perks. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? When he got into a bar in the middle, Cove pulled himself up and through, then sat on top of the bars. His leg dangled off the side of the bar he perched on. You joined him on the monkey bars. You stood nearby. You took a seat on the swing. Honestly, I would pick the swing. You sat right down on a free seat and started swinging your legs. First slowly, but then you added more power to your kicks. Air rushed past your face and ruffled your hair. You built up enough momentum to let it carry you. It was a lazy arc, not high or fast, perfect for having a conversation. Oh man, once again a Cove jump scare. I'm so bad at this. So guess what? Guess what? He smiled broadly and raised an eyebrow. He's not here! Oh man. Right, it was true. There wasn't a single sign of Jeremy. Looks like it was just going to be the two of you tonight. Cove hung his head and groaned dramatically. Your eyes widened when he whipped his head back up. I can't believe how dumb my parents are for forcing me to come to this stupid place. You were taken aback and blinked for a second before you realized he was quoting Jeremy. Yeah, it also makes no sense out of context. Haha. Don't scare me like that. One Jeremy is enough. That's not really nice. Funny, but not nice. You don't have to tease him. Ugh, parents don't know anything. Don't scare me like that. One Jeremy is enough. Cove chuckled back at you, a mischievous glint in his eyes. You looked around the old park, the streets you knew like the back of your hand, and the beach. These were your stomping grounds. You wondered how Cove actually felt. How much his joke was just a joke, and how much it was sincere dislike of this place. Moving had never been his choice. Do you actually like this neighborhood? I know you don't think it's dumb. You let the silence stretch between you. No, I know you don't think it's dumb. Cove kicked his legs carelessly as they dangled. He smiled softly. I like it here. I really do. It's a nice place. He didn't hesitate. There was no uncertainty. That was his genuine opinion. Yes. Yeah, I like it too. Well, at least one person likes it here. Oh my god. You nodded wordlessly. Well, of course, I'm here after all. You're the best thing in the neighborhood, Cove. That's so sweet. Yeah, I like it too. A contented feeling fell between the two of you. It didn't take long for the day to finally draw to a close. The sun was gone and it was dark. You chatted a while longer, but it was definitely winding down. We better get home. I wish days were longer. You chose not to say anything. We're just silent, Siom. You sat in the dark in silence. Cove shifted positions so that his back was on the monkey bars and he could look up at the stars. You wondered how comfortable that could be. Look at the moon, it's so clear tonight. You glanced up and saw great gibbous moon swelling over the sky. Few clouds covered the sparkling stars above. Too bad we can't stay forever. Cove sighed. It was time to go home. He dropped down from the monkey bars with a thump when his feet hit the ground. You stopped moving your legs and stood when the swing slowed down. The chains rattled and the swing smacked into you a little bit. Its energy not entirely spent. We all know that feeling. Cove grabbed his surfboard and threw his towel around his neck. With his water bottle in hand, he was ready. You both began your trek up the road. It was quite a night and you didn't run into anyone else. In what felt like no time at all, you had reached your street. As you walked, Cove smiled to himself. It was a soft expression and you couldn't help but wonder what put it there. Everything okay? I just remembered when we were younger. It used to be such a big deal to come home after dark. You could indeed recall. If you got sandy, your parents would have something to say. If you got wet, your parents would have more to say. And if you came home after dark, forget it. Your mom's and his dad better have said it was okay beforehand. You used to need permission for everything. That small comment he made exposed just how much freedom you really had this summer. Cove looked up into the sky, a smile still on his face as the two of you walked side by side, reminiscing. When you came to your houses, you turned to each other. Thanks for today, Rebecca. Bye. It was nice seeing you. This was definitely an interesting experience. Yep. Thanks for an awesome day. Cove waved and you both turned around to your respective houses. This was a pleasant end to the outing, you thought. And that was Wave. So just a chill little episode, not that much going on, but it's definitely a cute little one. So let's go to the DLC, which is Mall. Lee's visit today turned out to be more involved than you expected. After overhearing where the Holden family was going, Lee insisted on seeing Mr. Holden's shop firsthand. An hour later, and Lee was busy looking at every item on display. Because Cove's dad offered supplies, lessons, and tours, his shop had all the scuba-related stuff you could imagine. Fins, masks, suits, and snorkels. After circling around the shop, you finally stopped and looked at the whole room. This was the first time you'd been here too. It wasn't often that you tagged along to hang out at the shop. You'd spent a lot of time here over the years. I could imagine that would happen. The shop was as familiar to you as your own neighborhood. It was practically another extension of a home. You were still bursting with excitement. You were in good spirits. This was a pleasant surprise. You felt okay. Not your first choice, but not bad. You were happy. You were unhappy. Was this really all you were going to do? No, we were in good spirits. You enjoyed showing Lee around the shop. Doing this was better than just telling her about it. Lee was still busy poking through the various wetsuits displayed, so you decided to see what Derek and Cove was doing. Oh my god, they're there too. They were too absorbed in their conversation to notice you standing near them, leaning against the counter. You were able to pick up the topic quickly.
Anyway,
My dad told me the new stuff is selling like crazy. Yeah, the material has this new blend with no less neoprene. My dad says people are really interested in it. It brought a smile to your face hearing that the shop was doing well. You decided to keep listening. You decided to join in with the conversation. You couldn't resist teasing the boys. I mean, I can't, but you know what I'm saying? We're just listening. It was interesting just to watch them speak about what they knew. But really, there's just so much to think about with a business. It's crazy. No matter how much I come, I still don't think I get it. Cove hummed and nodded in agreement, causing a good-humored laugh from Derek. I thought you only liked the scuba diving part, not the job part. That's just the best part. I like other things. I think about other things too. Cool. The business side, running it. That's my favorite. Derek is a businessman. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught movement, and you realized that Lee was now standing next to you. When your dad's retire, do you think you're gonna carry on the store? Both sons shrugged in unison. There's tons of things I could do. My dad thinks so too. He doesn't want me to plan on working here forever. Cove's gaze fell to the floor. You could see the conflict flashing across his face. I don't know. It's a lot, being the real boss of something and in totally charge. If my moms had their own business, I'd take it over. If my mom's had one, I wouldn't want to take it over either. I can't run a business. I wouldn't want to take over someone else's shop either. I want to do my own thing. Then, do you think your dads would let me take over this shop? No matter what you both do, shop or no shop, you'll be amazing. That's what I'm gonna say. Derek smiled in equal parts happiness and bashfulness. He bounced on his feet a little bit. Thanks, Rebecca. I'm happy you believe in us. Me too. Cove's parents left the back office and came over, catching your attention. Sorry, kids. It looks like it's gonna be a long one. I know usually others hold the front fort down, but I really need to stay here today. I know you wanted a little visit. It'd be boring getting stuck here all day because of me. Kira can take my car and go to the neighborhood. Cove and Derek gave him an understanding look. Mr. Holden crossed his arms and flashed you all a big smile, trying to lift the mood. The one condition is that someone has to remember to come back for me later. You don't get to stand me here, no matter how funny that might be. Kira laughed and gave a thumbs up. Mr. Holden seemed satisfied with that. He moved on with the explanation. Derek, your dad also has his hands full today, so he doesn't have time to run you back home. That's alright, sir. The title sir got an awkward chuckle out of Cliff, which was cut short when Kira elbowed him teasingly. You already said I could borrow your car. Why don't I take all the kids somewhere fun for the afternoon?
Absolutely.
That's fine with me. Just please come back eventually. Sometime today, Kira. After multiple jokes about being left with no ride, you had to wonder if that actually happened in their path together. It might have. They're shady. No, I don't know. But it might have. For you, my good sir, I swear, cross my heart. Happy with the promise, Cliff took out his black wallet and offered a 50 bill to Kira. Here, in case you need gas or anything else while you're out. Kira smiled knowingly and accepted the bill without hesitation. As she should. Thank you. Cove's dad stuck the wallet into his back pocket while he waved with the free hand. Okay, time for me to jump back into work. Have fun for me. Bye, Dad. Bye. Bye, sir. Bye, Mr. Holden. Goodbye, sirs and madams. Oh my god. He left the room with a wink and flare, disappearing into an employees-only area of the shop. When Mr. Holden was out of sight, Kira silently strolled over the counter and carefully placed the 50 bill there. She turned back around and beamed a large smile at you and the others. Come on, gang. Let's see if this town has a mall. Yeah! Unable to contain her excitement, Lee actually jumped with joy, while Cove and Derek just grinned. There wasn't a mall in your town, but Mr. Holden's store wasn't in Sunset Bird. It might be possible to find a mall out here. You felt pumped. You felt okay about it. You really didn't want to go there. I actually went shopping today, so I feel pumped. Heck yeah. Let's go. She quickly herded the group out of the store and to the car. As the driver, I get to choose my partner in crime. Naturally, I bestowed the position of shotgun to my baby. Her comment had both Derek and Lee snickering. Cove was for sure embarrassed over the phrasing and blatant favoritism, but he took the seat by his mom without complaint. You decided to stick up for Cove. You decided to jokingly complain about the special treatment. You were fine with that. You kept quiet. We were fine. You got shotgun in your own car a lot. It made sense that he got priority there. I'll take the middle seat. Really? Yeah, I don't want a window seat. You two can have them. Are you cool with that? You thought it was odd that anyone would give up a window seat, but you knew Derek tried to be especially polite when he was a guest. You nodded. And Derek is also a little boy, like a cutie. Anyway, I'm smaller than him in this scenario, but still. Good, sounds like we're all in agreement. Everyone squeezed into the car, buckled in, and Kira turned the radio on. She set it to a top 40s pop station. You were into it. You did not like it. You asked if the radio station could be changed. No, I'm into it. I'm a pop girly, okay? Or, I'm not just a pop girly, but I am also a pop girly, so I was into it. Quickly, you recognized the song playing. It was a new one by an artist you were listening to a lot recently. Some time passed. It wasn't long until your group realized that they were lost. But after driving in enough circles, Kira's struggle paid off when she found a local mall. There were a few more cheers from Lee as Kira pulled into a parking spot. Once your group had made it inside, the first order of business on this trip was checking what this mall actually had. Where should we go? Ooh, I see a makeup store up already. She rolled up on her tiptoes to get a better view. Meanwhile, Derek was eyeing the direction. There's a chocolate. Oh my god, I can't speak. Me, ma, me, ma, me, ma. I don't know what I'm doing. There's a chocolate shop. Seriously, we have to go there. Yes, wait. We need to find a decent jewelry shop. I need new hair ties and barrettes. Oh, like a literal barrette. How cute. Nice. Oh, that's just what he said. Oh my god. We've also gotta at least look for a game store. There's tons of things you can't get anywhere but a store that's just for video games. Hey, what are you thinking, Cove? I want to look at the fish in the pet store. He does have fish, yeah. You could have guessed that much. Anywhere else? He smiled with some bashfulness. The bookstore. What about you, Rebecca? I want to look at a clothing store, as an accessory shop, a video game store. Oh man. A music shop, the food court, and that's all that really interested. I mean, the other things are cool too. I love just going for a good stroll, but yeah. That's certainly a list. Good thing we have all afternoon. Yeah! I have my own shops I want to make. Let's agree to regroup here at 7 p.m. You're not coming with us? We're all in the same building. You won't be as alone as you think. I'll only be a few minutes away at most. You're old enough to enjoy them all without me hoovering. Okay. Be back here at 7 p.m. Toodaloo. Leaving Derek and Lee stunned by their newfound freedom, Kira walked off when she was almost out of sight. Derek's face twisted in confusion. Wow, she's really gone. I can't believe she just did that. This is so cool. We get to do whatever we want. You were happy about it. Talk about an amazing opportunity. You felt unsure about the situation. Was this really okay? You felt okay about the situation. You were unhappy about it. This was not what you had in mind. No, it's amazing. This is really exciting. With the decision already made, Derek tried to pull together his earlier enthusiasm for the trip. So, where are we going first? There's a time. Time's a wasting. That's what he's saying. Whatever's closest. Things were coming together, but you realized there might be a flaw in today's sudden plans. What's wrong, Rebecca? Did everybody bring money with them? Yeah, I did. I always have some on me when I come all the way out here. You had money too. You left all your money at home. The original plan was only visiting Mr. Holden's store. You didn't have any money at all, since you always ended up spending it when you got it. No, I had money too. Immediately, you felt better about the situation. It would have been a downer to not be able to even think about something at the mall because they didn't have money. I'm good. Now that everything was squared away, you explored the mall together as a group. There were many shops that you managed to venture into so far. Oh. You all even went into a clothing store, leaving you with a pep in your step. This was better than you'd thought, and there was still so much to see. After having hit many of the top priority stores, you found yourself passing by a small booth. It was decorated in wind chimes of various sizes. You raised a hand up to one of the smaller ones. What sparked your attention next was Cove. You thought for sure he was going to stop at the booth by the way he looked at it, but he kept going. Do you want one? It wasn't until Lee asked that you realized that you had stopped in front of the booth without saying anything. Lee just continued to encourage you. You should get one. I'm just looking. I don't really like them. You wanted one, but for someone else. You did want one. You did want one, but for someone else. They had caught your attention, though it was because it might make a nice gift. You wondered if Lee was planning on becoming a wind chime salesperson since she kept pushing it. I have one like this at home. It makes the prettiest sound. Fishing your money out, you made a decision on what to buy. Oh, man. Okay, I thought you could actually also buy one for Derek, but I guess I remembered that wrong. Not that I don't want to get one for Cove, but my thought was Derek. Oh, man. Okay. You got one for Cove, you got one for yourself, and one for Cove. That just feels kind of mean. But whatever, I guess. Can I get these two, please? Now why would you need 2 wind chimes? You rolled your eyes at the teasing at her teasing tone, but you couldn't hide the smile growing on your own face as Lee broke out in laughter. The shopkeeper carefully wrapped your purchase up and handed it back to you in a bag. You accepted it and then raced off with Lee to catch up to the boys. For Cove, you had picked out a beautiful wind chime that had a dolphin charm, was a simple design of just silver poles, had crystal strands. Simple design of just silver poles? Dolphin charm, I think he'd like that. You had a feeling he'd appreciate it. After leaving another clothing store, one that Lee couldn't resist exploring, you and your friends found yourself walking down the main hall of the mall again. It wasn't long until everyone you were with had their eye on the smoothie kiosk ahead. Should we stop? Yeah. Oh man, I'd like a smoothie. Actually, I do have a drink here with me. A little drinky drink. It's nice. Stay hydrated. As you approached, your eye was drawn to the dizzying list of smoothie combination. A part of you wondered how long it would take to try them all. Hi there, do you need the rundown of how this works? Yes, please. Okay, first up, you pick up the 3 options of fruit or berries. Then I'll add the ice, and then the store's special smoothie maze picks. What the hell am I saying? And of the smoothie base mix, and then you'll have your own smoothie for $4. There's only one size. Cove leaned over the counter a bit. For several moments, he intently studied the plentiful fruit and berry options. I want to get a strawberry banana smoothie, with coconut too. Sounds good. Is anyone else getting something? Can I get one that's just all mango? Of course! I'd like strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries for mine. Thanks. The shopkeeper looked at you now. You didn't want one. You wanted one. I wanted one. Could I get banana, coconut, pineapple, mango, kiwi, peach, orange, apple, blueberry, strawberry, raspberry? I love anything peach. And that's honestly everything. Like, I'd like a peach smoothie. Maybe with a little bit of raspberry or blueberry in there. Actually, I love blueberry. And yeah, let's go with that. At that, everyone went ahead and paid for their individual drinks. You waited for the other side of the booth. You waited at the other side of the booth where the drinks were put when they were done. Derek bounced on his feet, excited for his to be ready. This is gonna be good. Lee chimed in with her own enthusiasm. Everybody says their smoothie-based stuff can make any great drink. Cove, while quieter, looked just as eager for his smoothie. Like you would be, right? Luckily, there hasn't been anyone else before you, so it wasn't a long wait. Your group collected the fresh drinks as they were placed on the counter. Straws were placed through the opening at the top of the cup, and the first tentative sips were had. Derek sighed in satisfaction after his taste. Mango is too delicious. Now, I don't want to sound offensive or anything, but I feel like a lot of mango flavored things, mostly candy and stuff, so kind of taste like sweat. And how do I know what sweat tastes like? Now I don't. But the way sweat smells, I feel like mango flavored things sometimes tastes. So, mango would not be my flavor of choice, lovely Derek. I do like a mango, but I don't like mango flavored things. Yeah, I think I explained it well. Fine. Let's go. Mine is super good too. Cove nodded and hummed in agreement. His straw was still in his mouth. You were really happy with yours. You were regretting your choice. You thought it was only okay. You thought it wasn't as great as you expected when you picked. No, it was good. I bet it's good. I should make one of those and then see. This is perfect. Cool, we all made excellent choices today. Yeah. You asked if you could try Leith's smoothie. You asked if you could try Derek's smoothie. You asked if you could try Cove's smoothie. Sneakily, you wanted to steal a sip of someone else's smoothie. You didn't pay much attention to the others' drinks after that. Honestly, after just talking so much crap about Derek's smoothie, I still want a taste because I want a taste of Derek. Okay, I don't know what I'm saying. Can I have a sip of yours, Derek? You can. And he is blushing! He held his cup out for you to take it, but instead it was easier to just lean forward to take a sip from his straw. He blushed slightly at the gesture. That is good mango. Thanks. That's what we do with our fruits. Sharing is caring. Derek winked causing a small laugh to escape you. The mango in the smoothie actually reminded a lot of that fruit bouquet that you had at the start of summer. Okay, well then it probably tasted good. Because I don't know. Yeah, it smells like candy. I don't know. It smells like sweat. It tastes like flip. I don't even know. You were satisfied with that. You wanted to ask someone else to try their smoothie. Sneakily, you wanted to steal a sip of someone else's. I don't know about this sneaky smoothie stuff. Let's just ask someone else. And let's ask Lee. Hey Lee, can I taste what you got? As long as you let me try yours too. Deal. You and Lee swapped cups and took several sips before swapping back. The berry blend tasted very strong. I like yours, but I'm really, really happy I got this. Thanks, Lee. I'm always there to help. And I mean, let's ask Cove as well, okay? Cove, could I have a drink of yours? At that, Cove accidentally inhaled as he was drinking. His face was burning red from embarrassment. And from coughing that shook him. It shook him! I don't know. Dude, are you okay? Derek gave Cove a few pats on the back. His hacking was only starting to slow. I bet it ended up going the wrong way. It sucks when that happens. Lee elbowed you teasingly. The moment she got your attention, she started laughing and gesturing between you and Cove. Moments later, Cove was finally able to breathe normally. Okay, chill, I just asked for a sip of your drink, girl. He wiped his mouth with his free hand. His gaze looked to the floor as he nervously started chewing on his straw. You could tell he was torn. He didn't seem to want to say no, but he couldn't bring himself to say yes either. Derek couldn't watch the scene anymore. Drinking his own smoothie, he pretended to be fascinated by the displays in the stores your group was passing by. Lee hadn't stopped looking over you two. You could tell she was living for every bit of this situation. Don't be so awkward, baby. Don't be so awkward. Cove's unhappy stare went from Lee to Derek, all while still shyly sipping his smoothie. You wondered if he was trying to will them to intervene. Feeling his stare, Derek peeked back towards Cove. The only response he offered was an understanding sigh. You decided to let it go. You teased him. You reassured him. Let's reassure his ass. You don't have to stress over it. I don't want it to be a big deal. With a defeated sigh, Cove delicately moved the hand holding his drink towards you. He invited you to proceed with his eyes. Leaning in, you took a sip. It was an especially sweet combination. Thanks. He nodded and brought his smoothie back closer to his body, but he didn't start drinking again. You're welcome. As your group continued to wander the mall, you came to an area in the path that was wider. Yes! Let's go, but before we do that, I'ma have a sip of my drink again. In the center of the opening was a collection of quarter-operated ride-on machines. Derek stopped as soon as he saw them, smiling ear to ear. I wanna ride! I think we might be too big. No way, we're not that old yet! He eagerly headed over to the machines, wanting to get a better look. Lee went along with it, smiling. You thought this idea was childish. You wanted to ride too. You didn't care one way or another. You stayed quiet about it. I wanted to ride too. You quickly chased after Derek. He turned his head back at the sound of your footsteps and gave a thumbs up over his shoulder. Reconvening around Derek, you watched as he focused on the various brightly colored rides. Most were designed to look like real vehicles, but there was also some horse-shaped ones. One of them could even seat 2 people. Lee leaned in close to you and whispered playfully while pointing directly at the soul machine made for a pair. You should ride that one with Cove. You agreed. She was really onto something there. You rolled your eyes. You disagreed. That was too crazy. You felt unsure. You didn't reply to her. I would ignore her ass. You looked at Lee for a moment and then looked away. You weren't going to dignify that with a response, you thought. There we are. I called the helicopter. Why? It's the coolest, and I think it'll move the most. He started digging in his pockets, pulling out whatever money he had left. Wait, is everything okay? I need 4 quarters, right? Yeah. I only have 2. There has to be more between all of us. Hold on. Pockets, wallets, and purses were checked over. Derek still had 2. Cove only had 1. Lee ended up with the most at 3. You didn't have any. You can have mine. Thanks, but you don't have to. It's not enough for me. And even if it was, it'd be dumb to ride while you had to watch. Cove shrugged. He had tried, failed, and looked unsure of what to do next. Why don't we all get on one ride? Couldn't we exchange dollar bills for more quarters at a store? You didn't offer up a suggestion. No, let's do it all together. Yeah! Could that work? Cove shook his head. It'll be fine. I gotta figure it out. Lee walked up to the car and studied it for a moment. She went all the way around it before she headed back to your group with a big smile. Okay, Derek and Cove, get in the car. You'll use the real seats. They both stared at her, unsure. Ultimately, they did what she said anyways. They fit, albeit very awkwardly. That was mostly Cove's long legs' fault. Rebecca, we can climb on the back part of the car. We'll be right behind the seats. It'll work. Yeah, it actually might. This had been your suggestion originally, so you went along with the arrangement. Once you and Lee got yourself situated, everyone passed their quarters contributions to Derek. He leaned forward and slipped the quarters in the machine slot. Jerkily, it moved. There was a chorus of nervous chuckles and giggles as everyone lurched backwards. Lee bent more forward so she could have a hand on the back of the boys' seat to keep steady. You quietly regretted your decision. You were really into it. Your enjoyment spilled over into deep laughter. This was turning out to be more fun than you expected. I think it would be. We're gonna break it. Don't jinx it! I want to get off. Cove looked uncomfortable with the whole experience. Both hands gripped his side of the car. We'll live! Hey, it'll be over before you know it. Yeah. Cove didn't say anything more. He held the edge of the car tighter as it went up and down and side to side. It wasn't long before Derek's fear of breaking the car was pushed aside. A large smile replaced the concern that had been on his face. Woo! Look at us go! Yay! With every buckle of the machine, you kept nearly falling over and bumping into Lee, who laughed every time. That sounds so fun. Me and my cousins in the summertime, me and my cousin, we also went to amusement parks often, and we would also sit so tight in like cramped spaces sometimes and just buckle all over the place, whatever. I get this. You smiled right along with her as you thought to remain uptight. Oh, you did all the best you could to keep it together during the remainder of the ride, and luckily, the car came to an end without breaking. Then you noticed something out of the corner of your eye. You tilted your head to look directly at it, and you burst into laughter. What's funny? You turned back to your group and nodded in the direction of where you were looking. Isn't that one of those machines that takes dollars and gives quarters back? The kind that exists for people who don't have quarters on hand? Everyone's head moved that way and saw that you were right. Derek chuckled awkwardly. That's exactly what that is. We're kinda dumb. We have to be to miss that this whole time. Come on, let's just put this behind us. There's still places open. We haven't been everywhere yet. Here. You moved along from one stop towards your next, still jovial from the experience. Shortly into your walk, Lee ran over to a nearby trash can and tossed her smoothie cup. Derek went after her and threw his cup away. You followed suit and got rid of your empty cup too. Cove went to the trash can last. He threw out his very full cup? Oh. So much of his drink was left that you couldn't help but wonder if he ever continued drinking it after your stunt. Oh man. Yeah, maybe he didn't. Maybe he's quite particular about that. He had been so focused on sipping originally, it had to be that he was too uncomfortable to use the straw after you had. Aw, I feel bad. You felt bad. Yeah! You felt bad. Yeah, I felt bad. You thought it was cute how seriously he took the situation. You felt shy about it all now. You thought he shouldn't have wasted it for something like that. I felt bad. That's my literal first reaction. So let's choose that. All that smoothie went to waste, and Cove barely got to enjoy his drink before you pushed to try it. Cove must have felt your eyes on him because he met your gaze. You weren't sure if he could tell what you were thinking. Instead of calling him out about the drink, you kept it to yourself. You knew Cove well enough to guess it'd just make things worse. Cove smiled at you, before turning back to listen to whatever Derek was trying to tell him. You resolved not to focus on the smoothie incident. The smoothie gate! The clock inched closer to 7 p.m. as you all made your way back to the directory. It was hard to believe how fast the day went by. Where do you think your mom ended up today? We didn't see her anywhere. I don't know, she's just like that. Ooh, it's a mystery! There Kira is. Despite having vanished for the entire trip so far, when 7 p.m. hit, you spotted Kira coming right over, waving cheerily. As soon as she was close enough, she pinched Cove's cheek. Hey, baby, and friends. Hi, Mom. He pushed her hand back with one hand and rubbed his cheek with the other. Did you have a good day, gang? Yeah. Today was awesome. We did so much. It was fun. You really enjoyed your day. You thought there were ways it could have been worse. You didn't enjoy the outing. I had really fun. Yeah, I had really fun. Right. There was no hiding your joy. Like the others, you were smiling ear to ear because today's went so much better than you expected. I'm glad we came here. I want to hear all about it during the ride back. She clapped her hands together once, making sure she had everyone's undivided attention. Speaking of that, we better head out. Cliff must be missing us, and you've got to be starving. It's dinner time and you haven't eaten yet. Yeah. Everyone followed her lead and started walking out the door to the parking lot. Something about what Kira said fell off to you. There were a ton of places to eat. It's a mall. You could have had dinner. You wondered if it was just a good guess, but you could feel your eyebrows raise when it dawned on you. She might have been keeping an eye on you after all. Probably. You weren't pleased about that. She didn't have to lie. It was actually pretty slick. You weren't sure about that. It seemed kind of sketchy. No, it was pretty slick. Jojo! I didn't even see that. Yo. It's not Jojo, it's Yo-Yo, whatever. If she hadn't made that comment, you never would have known. You found it hard not to be impressed. Not once could you recall catching a glimpse of her hanging around. Though, now that you think about it, not seeing her ever was suspicious in and of itself. Shaking off those thoughts, you caught up with the others. Keeping the same seating arrangement as earlier, you all piled into the car and started heading back to the store. The drive went by without any problems, as it was filled with chatter about the various things everyone saw around the mall. Soon enough, you'd arrive at your destination. It was a much faster trip considering this time, Kira knew where she was going. Hearing the light jingle of the bells from the front door being opened, Cliff poked his head out from the back. He lit up seeing who was there. Hey sport, did everyone have an adventure? Hi Dad. We had a blast! Yes! We found the mall. The mall? I wish I could have joined. He deflated in an exaggerated way. His shoulders slumped. Kira put a hand on his arm and smiled. There'll be other times. Are you set here? Almost. Mr. Holden sighed for real. Then he pulled himself together, standing up straight. I just need a little more time to finish up. Will you be alright killing time for a bit longer? It's okay. Yes, sir. No problem, Mr. Holden. We can have fun here. Excellent. What a great group of kids. He gave an approving thumbs up and Kira nodded along. I'll give you a hand. I remember the ropes. Why, thank you. They walked side by side to the back room. Before he was out of sight, Cliff stopped and looked over his shoulder. If you leave the shop, don't go far. It's getting late. And then the parents were gone again. Let's go to the docks. They're right down the way. Yeah. Oh, I saw those on the way here and really wanted to check it out. Are you coming, Rebecca? Alright. With a smile, Cove showed the way. Between the warm summer air and the smell of the ocean, you couldn't ask for a better night. Thanks for letting me come. Me too. Right, I'm happy we did this. Today was great. Cove, your mom and dad are really cool. Really? Totally. Cove looked at Lee oddly. He ran a hand through his hair and then his puzzled expression cracked with a chuckle. I guess sometimes they are. You continued walking. Every so often, you would look up at the sky and see several stars poking out between the clouds. At one point, you noticed that Cove stopped while Lee and Derek kept going on ahead, busily chatting. Initially, you wondered if something was wrong, but you quickly noticed that he still looked to be in good spirits. You decided to hang back with Cove. He gave you a quick acknowledging look when you stopped at his side. You could taste the sea salt as you took a deep breath of the ocean air. Silently, you and Cove watched the ocean for a little while. There was something about the waves that you always found soothing. You couldn't think of a better way to end a busy day. No, I feel that. And then it hit you. The wind chime. This was the perfect moment. Quickly, you dug the wrapped package out of your bag. Hey, Cove? He barely replied. Instead, his focus was mostly on lazily watching the sea. The paper wrapping crinkled as you pushed the package forward, trying to make him realize. He finally caught sight of it and his eyebrows raised up high. Gingerly, Cove accepted the gift. Just seeing the present brought a smile to Cove's face. He carefully opened it and his whole body brightened as he recognized the chime. Oh my god! You talked about how he seemed to want it. You suggested that the chime simply made you think of him. You explained that Cove had given you gifts and you wanted to give him something in return. You didn't know what to say now. You suggested that it reminded you of him. I thought it suited you, so I got it. Really? Cove's smile seemed to grow even bigger, and his blush deepened. He looked sincerely happy. You're just... He wasn't even able to find the words to finish his thought. Then Cove started getting shy over his bashfulness and put a hand over his mouth. You were so happy that buying the wind chime was the right call. I'll take such good care of it, Rebecca. Thank you. You're welcome. Let me know where you end up putting it. It'll be helpful to know. You took your wrapped up wind chime out of your bag and held it up, drawing a chuckle from him. Okay, we'll match that way. Yeah. Not much time later, Derek's chipper voice caught your attention. You and Cove both turned your gaze down the pier. What are you doing there, slowpokes? Get over here! Hey, come on! You looked at Cove the same time as he looked at you. You grinned and nodded your head at the direction of your friends. He gave you a small smile in return. Your footsteps echoed against the wooden planks of the dock and into the night as you ran to catch up. Oh, so nice. Oh my god. What a nice day it was. A surfing kind of day and a going to the mall kind of day. So yeah, that was the 2 steps that I will be playing for this episode. And I will honestly see you in the next one. Hopefully, please. Yeah, thank you. And honestly, I know that this is Derek's DLC, right? But I promise you, we will come back and play properly Derek's DLC, only Derek's DLC, you feel me? So yeah, that'll be great when that happens, but until then, I will thank you so much for watching. I had a blast this time around as well, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!